everybody, my name is AFHGaming, but before we get anywhere near the video, please make sure to go and check out the Everlasting Summer fan page community to keep updated with the game and all the awesome features coming soon. Lots and lots of amazing pictures and posts, and yeah, basically the site is where all Everlasting Summer fans unite. If you have any questions, make sure to ask this young fella right here. He's so cute and sexy, but I'm not gay, of course. I'm not gay. And let's not forget to mention the beautifulest girl in the camp is Slavia, of course. Am I right or wrong? I'm sure I'm right. If I zoom in very closely, you can see both of her boobies collapse as she skips through the moonlight. And let's not forget to mention the maddest girl in the game, Elisa, who could be even part of the Illuminati, and her big boobies! AFHGaming, welcome back to some more Everlasting Summer Let's Play! Let's continue the story of Slavia's sickness because she's somehow sick. I was never able to measure body temperature by touch, but in this case it was obvious. I told you! Achoo! Come on, come on! No, I could infect Xenia! Listen, we'd better go to the infirmary. And what would you do in the infirmary at night alone? That's nonsense! No, it's not nonsense! If you don't want to help, I'll go by myself! She let go of my hand, and I was ready to leave. Oh no, don't get upset. Put this on, it's cold. I handed her my sweater, which I'd bought with me on the hike. Finally found some use for it. Good boy. Thanks! She pulled the sweater on. She pulled the sweater on and gave me such a tender and caring look that I just couldn't argue with her anymore. Okay, fine, the infirmary. It is, as you say. 5 minutes later, we were standing by the infirmary door and Slavia was picking out the right key. I still considered this idea quite foolish. Nobody ever died from the common cold. At least not in the past century. I couldn't see any good reason to spend the night in the infirmary. Well, neither do I. Finally, Slavia opened the door and leaned on my arm. I'm a bit still dizzy, she said guiltily. Slavia landed on bed. I sat on the chair nearby. Still, listen, alone for the whole night in the infirmary? After all, at least Xenia could get you a glass of water if you needed one. She wouldn't catch the illness. She's young and strong. It's all right. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to bother anyone, and the nurse will come tomorrow. I suddenly imagined myself in Slavia's place. Imagined that I had to spend the whole night here alone. And shivers ran down my spine. Listen, maybe I can stay with you for a while. I owed a lot to Slavia. And in fact, I didn't even want to leave. What for? Everything will be fine. Thanks for walking me over. You should go and get some sleep. I still think... It's fine. For a moment I thought... Of course, nothing terrible will happen to her, but I myself would feel more relaxed if I stayed with her. I think... Oh, come on! Slavia cried out, as if offended. You won't throw me out, will you? I smiled slyly. Alright, but if you get infected, you only have yourself to blame. I was happy with my little victory. Yes. Okay then, what shall we do? There should be some playing cards in the chest. No, I hate card games! Durak? In fact, I didn't know any other games except that one and poker. Okay. We spent a lot of time playing. I completely lost the track of time. We chatted, laughed a lot. Slavia didn't seem ill at all. And then midnight came. Time to sleep. Probably. But where are you going to go? She gazed at me. Come on. You shouldn't be sitting in here with me. I can do it anyway. At the moment, I could even fall asleep standing up. Slavia watched me for some time and then drew the curtain and said, Good night. Night. I lowered my head on my arm and fell asleep in an instant. Despite being exhausted, I slept uneasily. It was more of a slumber. My awareness kept leaving me and returning again. The best possible state for dreaming something psychedelic. Bus number 410 drove past the room. It was snowing from the ceiling and my computer's monitor suddenly rose from the middle of the table. Wallpaper blended through the walls, rubbish piled rose through the floor, and my old bed materialized in the corner. I was in my old flat again. The scenery changed to that of my old hometown. It was like I was running through endless hordes of people bustling in and out. And then darkness fell on me. Primal universal darkness. I jumped up in terror. I was sweating like a river. Slavia was looking at me worriedly from the bed. Just a bad dream. I attempted to smile. You were screaming! Screaming what? I don't know. It was incomprehensible. The clock only displayed... Wow, it's midnight. It's 12:30. Semyon? Huh? I'm freezing. Slavia was rubbing the arms of her sweater, shivering. Hang on, I'll find you a blanket. I searched through one cabinet after another, swearing to myself about how the damn infirmary had nothing to cover up the patients. I'm sorry, there's nothing here. Wait, I'll run and fetch something. You don't have to. Would you lie here with me? It'll be much warmer. Yes! She was absolutely serious. Her voice sounded so piteous that for a second I was left breathless. Are you sure that it is okay? No, so it's not? She asked, blushing. No, why? Ooh, looking good. I slowly took my shoes and lay on the very edge of the couch, trying to occupy as little space as possible, trying to shrink and stop breathing. Slavia gently embarrassed me and rested her head on my chest. Yeah, that's better. She purred. I was unable to say anything and just lay there calmly. Very good. Thank you. For what? Slavia kept her eyes closed and seemed ready to fall asleep at any second. For being here. It's fine. 2 minutes ago, she was desperately trying to get rid of me. No, really. Then you're welcome. She said nothing, but I was sure that Slavia smiled. Contact us anytime, as they say. You're so kind. You care so much. Well, I try. You're a good friend. A friend? A friend! Really? Friend? Well, yeah, probably. Somehow, this word hit me painfully. On the other hand, there was no reason to believe that I was something more to Slavia than just a friend. What are those thoughts about, anyway? You too. I just couldn't bring myself to find the right words. What's up with the you two? It's been a pleasure dealing with you. We hope for further mutual beneficial cooperation. Or yeah, it's cool being friends with you two. Let's go and play in a sandbox. This was twice as hard to endure with Slavia lying right next to me. I can't run, I can't hide, and even without her looking at me in the eyes, I know that she sees right through me. You're distressed by something, aren't you? No, I'm fine. But I can tell that you are. Well, maybe. Want to talk about it? Well, not really. In fact, there's nothing really to talk about. Then you don't really know why you're upset? Yeah, probably. Then why get upset in the first place? Slavia laughed. I guess I shouldn't. That's great. She hugged me even harder. Not cold now? I'm fine. Just tell me if you're not comfortable. Oh, I'm very comfortable. No, it's okay. Like that time on the boat? My muscles, as if remembering the rowing competition, reminded me of it with a dull ache. It's totally different. Okay. She said slyly and raised her head a bit. So everything is fine? Yeah, perfect. I started to worry. Slavia surely wanted something from me. Wanted me to do or say something. But what? Are you sure? My god, this is so long. Just get to the part already. Yeah, probably. Well then, have a good night. You too. Finally, oh my god, that was long. Ugh. After a while, she fell asleep. I checked the clock out of the corner of my eye. It was only 1 a.m. That meant that I still had to lie in this position until morning. I wasn't really concerned about my arm going numb. Just being so close to Slavia in such a dangerous proximity, I couldn't sleep at all. Various thoughts were invading my head. Did she really consider this whole situation normal? What if something happened? No! Just when I was thinking about how bad it would be if anybody found his door open, the light switched on, and all getting machine arrested. No way! How did she get in? My heart jumped and stopped for a moment. Semyon? Started the camp leader in a diabolically calm voice. I've been searching for you everywhere, and you escaped from the forest ahead of time, didn't come to the cabin to sleep, and now you're seducing our best pioneer? What are you talking about, Olga? Slavia instantly woke up. She was staring at the camp leader with sleepy eyes for a few seconds, and then instantly understood what's going on and jumped from the bed. Olga Dmitrievna, it's not how you think. I just felt ill, and Semyon walked me here. And then I got cold, and I told him to go to his cabin. What? Now you're lying? Oh yeah, sure. So you're sick, are you? I am, answered Slavia humbly. Then you have to get treatment. She watched me menacingly. And you, get up and follow me. I understood that arguing was not an option and left the infirmary not even looking at Slavia. Oh my god. We reached the square without saying a word. Olga Dmitrievna viciously looked over at me and said, Time to go home. I need you to have a serious talk with you. Oh my god. I felt awfully the whole day. The camp leader silently followed me. I think that once again I've got into a stupid situation which will be perceived totally wrong by everybody. Nothing to discuss. Oh my god, I've got busted once again. What if I were in Olga Dmitrievna's place? Two teenagers cuddling in the empty infirmary at night. It's hard to come up with any apologies. The worst thing is that all of these things always happen specifically to me. I always considered myself to have an analytical mind. However, I rarely got to put it into practice. We entered the cabin and the camp leader continued the interrogation. Would you care to explain yourself? She seemed to have calmed down a bit. At least this side of her character was appealing. She was of course an impulsive woman, but she also cooled down quickly. Slavia already told you everything. You expect me to believe that? I can't force you to believe it, but I am not going to invent any excuses either, because it's the truth. She looked at me for some time and then said, Tomorrow I will decide what to do with you. Send me home? The camp leader turned off the light and I rolled myself into the blanket, not even bothering to undress and turn to the face wall. Interesting. Why does she only blame me for what happened? I wasn't there alone after all. Slavia is a role model pioneer, of course, but no, I didn't intend to shift the blame to her. I just felt too ashamed for getting into an idiotic situation once again. Involuntarily, with no malicious thoughts, not expecting any trap, I could have lay there, pitying myself for a long time, but fatigue overtook me, and I blanked out. And you fell asleep, didn't you? I'll take that as a yes. Wow. Yes, that means I got her route. So I'll either get her good end or bad end. I hope it's a good end. Day 6. One more day! So yeah, day 7. This is day 6. Next up is day 7. I didn't sleep well. I kept walking up for a minute or two and then dropping off again. I didn't dream much, just some grotesque images forgotten in my morning. Olga Dmitrievna woke me up. Wake up already! I rubbed my eyes open and looked at her questioningly. What time is it? Late enough! My whole body ached and my head was heavy like a bowling ball. Pull yourself together and go wash yourself up right now! I stood up obediently, took my toiletry bag and went outside. I didn't want to talk to the camp leader at the moment. A lecture was clearly coming. A hard one. But I'd better put it off as much as I can. After all, I always did things this way. Trying not to fall asleep on my feet, I somehow made it to the wash basins. The cold water knocked some sense into me. Maybe I should pay Slavia a visit. I still have some time left. Just to tell her I'm sorry. On the other hand, why should I justify myself? It was her idea. And what? What did I do wrong? Besides, once again, getting myself into a silly situation where all the odds are against me. Another spelling mistake. I took a deep breath and went back to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin with the firm intention of proving myself innocent, or at least showing that I will stand my ground. But the room was empty. I sat on the bed and dropped my face in my hands. I need to come up with an excuse now, a nice and believable excuse. If she won't believe the truth, well, that's not surprising. If I was her, wouldn't have believed it either. Nothing worthwhile was coming to me. I was just sitting there gazing at the sunrise. The door swung suddenly open and the camp leader came into the room. Olga Dmitrievna, I'd like to explain to you that...
No need.
I looked at her surprised.
I understand everything.
So you do understand it wasn't what it looked like?
Why?
It looked exactly like it was. I don't want to condemn either you or Slavia. I understand everything, puberty, hormones, all that kind of stuff. I sighed tiredly and laid my head down on my hands. What do I need to say to make you believe me?
Nothing. I said already, I understand everything.
You don't understand a thing, I muttered under my breath.
Okay, head over to lineup.
I stood up and dragged myself lazily along with her. But could I at least pay her a visit?
Of course not.
The camp leader looked at me with such surprise, as if my question was something completely inappropriate.
I've already warned the nurse not to let you in.
Well, am I allowed to know how is she at least?
Well, it looks like Slavia is actually sick.
Wow, I didn't manage to ask how serious it was as we reached the square already.
Go and take your place.
I took a place next to Electronic. So, what happened yesterday? He whispered to me. What are you talking about? Well, you suddenly disappeared. Well, nothing special. Telling everything to the entire camp was the last thing I wanted. After all, if even the camp leader got us wrong, then what would the others think? Though I've already started to think that it's not entirely wrong. The entire lineup consisted of a roll call and an announcement that the shower room is closed today for repair. Finally, the pioneers ran for breakfast chatting happily. I miserably followed them. Frankly speaking, I wasn't in the mood for eating at all. Now, you're in the mood for Slavia, aren't you? After hanging around near the canteen doors for a while, I turned around and headed away. I don't know how it turned out this way, but eventually the infirmary appeared from nowhere in front of me. Looks like my autopilot just kicked in. I stared at the door at a total loss. They won't let me in anyway. What can I do now? Should I wait for Olenchina's sentence, if it ever comes? Should I wait until everybody in the camp knows? And that's even worse. Wicked glances from everywhere, the alien nation. That is what will happen for sure. No, I haven't done anything wrong, but in the enclosed circle of the bizarre society, such behavior would be treated, if not as a sin, then as a serious deviation for sure. And that means that I've already got nothing to lose. I knocked without any hesitation. Just a moment. I pulled the doorknob, but the door wouldn't open. It's locked. Oh no. In a few moments, I heard the key turning in the keyhole and the nurse appeared. Good morning, Pioneer. Hi, I answered confidently. Well, you know you're not allowed to be here. Well, I do, but if you'd... Nah, that's not the way things work, she said playfully. A camp leader's order is an order after all. If you ask me personally, I don't find anything immoral in your behavior, but Olga Dmitrievna, maybe I can do something. No, you can't. I looked at her angrily, turned around, and walked away with theatrical slowness. I didn't know what to do next. I just pressed on forward, punching the trees that stood in my way. How can you punch a tree? I recovered from this burst of rage only when my hands were hurting badly and my lips were bitten until they bled. Ugh, my God, you're disgusting. And the most interesting thing is that all my unbelievable awakening in an unknown pioneer camp has turned into the most trivial life drama. A drama as stupid as entire existence. Yet again, I did something wrong. I thought something wrong, and they got it all wrong. Fine then, just let everything be. Nobody was near the canteen. I sighed in relief and took a place in the farthest corner, hoping that nobody would see me. Somehow, stuffing my breakfast in, I was about to leave already when Miku dashed up to my table. Oh my God, talkative girl.
Oh, good morning, Semyon. Oh, good morning, Semyon. I kind of overslept today. Can I take a place here next to you?
She sat down straight away. Well, I'm kind of leaving already.
Is it true that you and Slavia are like that? Well, you know, what I'm talking about.
She stared at me closely, blinking her eyes. Who told you that? Well, one would expect that rumors spread fast, but not that fast. I started to slowly go into rage mode.
I heard it from Xenia, and she probably heard it from Cheeskov. He heard it from Olga Dmitrievna. I don't want to misunderstand me, but it's It's none of my business, but if you don't want to, then don't answer. But if it's not a secret...
You're right. I don't want to answer. I stood up and quickly headed towards the exit. It was a hot day. This amplified my anger since I don't like the heat. Right now, though, anything could drive me out of my wits. But I had to make up my mind now on how to conduct myself. I didn't want to run into anyone, so I went to the forest where I could think calmly. Having stopped in a glade, I sat on a stump, took a stick, and started to pick up the ground with it. If there is nothing that's up to me, all I can do is simply wait. But, in fact, what can I do? Assault the infirmary? Whoa, that's a really good idea. Why don't you just get her out of there? Rescue mission! Even if I succeed, what comes next? Try to bring Olga Matrina to her senses? Hardly possible. Funnily enough, this whole enigma turned into a simple everyday situation. If it was happening in my world, there would be no problems at all. Come on, really, what's the problem? Even if I did sleep with a girl, who cares? Even if I was actually 17, even then nothing terrible would happen anyway. It would be slightly more awkward, but still tolerable. And now what? I'm not the master of my fate. Although, was I ever? Is there anything at all that was up to me in my entire life? Have I ever reached any peak that I was seeking? And now, once I've reached one, I can't hold my ground. Maybe I was just a spectator from the very beginning. My mystical appearance in this camp, all the local residents, all the events that happened to me. All that is just a weird game and I'm only a pawn. Well, if that is so, I will still play out my role to the best. I got up and headed to the camp, prepared to take no prisoners. The plan wasn't completely finished in my head, but I've made up my mind already. Yes, time to assault the infirmary! Rescue mission! There was no one at the camp leader's cabin. I rummaged through the cabinets and packed up a sleeping bag, my winter clothes, a flashlight, and some of other grandments I found. What? Why would you need a sleeping bag? I came out immediately and ran straight into Lisa.
Going for a hike?
Yeah, for a hike. I reassured her.
Well, take care.
She gave me a sly smile and went on her way. I hesitated. I hastened my steps to the infirmary. The nurse is a human too in the end, so eventually we'll go to lunch. I hid in the bushes waiting. Time flew by fast. My thoughts have settled and I had a firm decision. I haven't thought my plan out beyond the first steps. I simply didn't care. The most important thing is that I act the way I think is appropriate, and whatever happens next, let it happen. Uh-oh, did she see me? At last, the nurse came out of the infirmary. She looked around and, noticing no danger, locked the infirmary with a key and quickly went towards the canteen. As she went around the corner, I got to the window in a few bounds and started to hurriedly knock on it. Slavia showed up soon.
Semyon, what are you doing here? You're not allowed to.
How are you feeling?
I'm fine, but Olga Matrina told me to stay here for another day.
She told me something completely different. Okay, get out, I said with confidence.
What are you talking about? What for?
She asked fearfully. Get out now, I'll explain everything later. She looked at me closely for a while, but then opened the window without further argument. I helped her to jump down to the ground.
Okay, what next?
Let's go. I grabbed her hand and made my way to the forest. Yes, escape complete! Slavia stopped a few minutes later.
Semyon, just what are we doing?
What's wrong? Do you think that everything was right the way it was?
No, I don't, but it will be even worse this way.
Why? We have a right to act the way we think is correct.
Okay, but what will happen next?
I haven't thought about it yet. Every step in my plan had gone quite well until now, but I was keen on thinking even one step ahead. Take a look. I opened the bag and showed the things I took from the camp leader's cabin.
And?
Slavia looked at me inquiringly. I don't know. We'll stay in the forest for a while. Show them that our opinion matters.
But that's stupid and childish.
Well, if you don't want to. She gave me a laminal look.
I'll do as you say.
Whoa, yes! These words gave me the creeps, as you say. Nobody ever said anything like me to that. In any case, I think this is the best decision for now.
All right.
Woo! I laid the sleeping bag on the ground and we sat on it.
So what are we gonna do?
I don't know. I have never been so close to utter failure. No, I wasn't questioning my choice, but indeed I had no idea what to do next. What would you suggest?
It would be nice to have something to eat. Have you brought anything with you?
And that was exactly what I'd forgotten. No, I haven't, I replied slowly.
That's fine.
We kept sitting in silence. I wonder if they will look for us, though even if they do, they are unlikely to succeed. The forest is big enough. But food. By the evening, I'll get hungry too. Okay, stay here. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
To get some food.
Maybe we should go together.
No, I'll be right back. I headed back to the camp at a rapid pace, leaving Slavia alone in the glade. I'm absolutely certain that she won't go anywhere and will wait for me. I wish I was as certain that I'll remember the way back as well. Oh my god. If I haven't started to look for both of us yet, then surely they'll have found out that Slavia is missing, so I have to move carefully and try not to get noticed. In general, every single pioneer was a threat now. Not only those who knew me, such an obvious kidnapping will surely be known to everyone in no time. And while getting to the canteen in few sprints was not hard at all, I had no idea what to do next. I can't just walk in like nothing happened. Uh-oh.
Are you hiding there?
I almost jumped out of my skin. Olyana was standing behind me.
Getting hungry?
She stared at me.
Come on, why so quiet?
I was tongue-tied for a moment and couldn't even think of an answer.
So why have you come?
I was just hungry. I want to get something for Slavia. Well, I could tell her that. I mean, what if she doesn't know anything? I was just hungry. Or I want to get something for Slavia. Oh, come on! Think! Just tell her you're getting something for Slavia. Just tell her that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Much to my surprise, Olyana didn't ask any awkward questions. Oh, I think I made the right choice. In the blink of an eye, she zipped out of sight through the doors of the canteen. I was wondering whether I should trust her and wait or I should flee before she returned with backup. However, Olyana interrupted my doubts quickly as she reappeared in a couple of minutes with a plastic bag in her hands.
Here you go.
The bag was full of buns and had a few packs of kefir in it. But why?
Well, in case it's brave and cool.
She smiled slyly.
Best regards to Slavia.
Olyana waved goodbye and ran away. I stood there for some time in confusion, but then went back to the forest. It was completely unlike Olyana, but frankly speaking, I was thankful to her. In the end, I couldn't get food by myself during the day without getting myself into trouble. Upon getting back to the glade, I found Slavia sitting in the sleeping bag in the exact same pose. Here! I gave the bag to her.
You got it so fast,
she said excitedly. Oh my god, but we're gonna stop right here! This is really exciting. I wonder what's gonna happen next. But anyways, we're all out of time now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy this episode, and subscribe to join the AFH Army, and I'll see you all in my next video. Adios!